State lawmakers are pursuing more restrictive gun laws. One proposes taking guns away from people deemed to be a threat. CBS 46's Capitol reporter Haley Mason live under the Gold Dome tonight with that story. Haley.
Rick, after dozens of mass shootings and attacks, lawmakers all across the country started adopting red flag gun laws. The intent was to keep guns out of the hands of dangerous people. But here in Georgia's State House, there's a new push against it. Georgia Democrat Matthew Wilson drafted a red flag bill in the State House last year to allow police to take guns away from people who have been deemed dangerous by the courts.
Well, I think it's empowering law enforcement officials to be able to carry out their duties by protecting the people.
Family members, friends, or even police can report a person dangerous, and after a hearing, the courts can issue a risk protection order to call for gun confiscation. At least 17 states have some form of a red flag gun law.
We've heard time and time again of law enforcement officers who have heard of threatening behavior reported about a person, but because that person hasn't actually committed an act yet, an act of violence, they're not able to actually take any action against that person. And so all this bill does is create a law that gives law enforcement an additional tool.
Republican lawmaker PULLIN is pushing back with his anti-red flag bill.
I think they're a backdoor way to seize firearms.
He says the laws would be unconstitutional and violate due process. But Wilson argues that a court hearing is the due process. Still, PULLIN thinks the law violates several amendments.
And this bill really does three things. It exempts Georgia from enforcing. It says Georgia can't accept federal funds for enforcing red flag legislation. And then it says if anyone tries to enforce red flag legislation, they're subject to a felony.
And now, right now, there is another bill that aims to keep military-style weapons out of the hands of juveniles. I'll talk to that bill sponsor tomorrow. As for the red flag gun bill that was introduced last session, it's currently in the Public Safety Committee, waiting to be heard, waiting to possibly be voted on, along with a bevy of other gun bills. Reporting live at the state capitol, Haley Mason, CBS 46 News.